Welcome back, everybody. So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 1, Episode 8, named I, Robot You, Jane. Now, before I get into this actual review, this is probably one of my least favourite episodes out of this season. I do not hate it or dislike it in any way, shape, or form. It's just not one of my favourites. And plus, this episode kind of feels like a bit of a Terminator movie, which I'll get into in a minute. So this episode mainly focuses around Willow, where she accidentally scans an evil demon from a book into the internet database called Moloch the Disruptor. Meanwhile, he then renames himself as Malcolm, and Willow and Malcolm basically start chatting online, and she basically becomes in love with somebody she hasn't met physically. And this whole episode in itself, I don't think they realized at the time exactly how big the internet was going to come, or being online, or talking to people and connecting to people online would be. Knowing that how big the internet is now, and how big Facebook is, and the people that you can meet, and the kind of connections that you can meet, and the connections you can actually destroy as well. And I'm a man of experience right now because I had a couple of good friends online, which I managed to really, really piss off, and I lost them as friends. So, you know, I'm I know all well about meeting people online and all that kind of stuff, and it's just it can be a little bit topsy turvy, and I'm paying an absolute killer price for something that I did big time. And trust me, I am. But what I'm trying to do is just emphasize on basically how potentially dangerous it can be, especially if you can't actually physically see the person or see a picture of the person, or if, like, the greatest thing is now you can do Facebook video chatting, so that kind of confirms it. But I'm just like kind of emphasizing the point of how not dangerous, how you can like establish a connection with somebody without actually physically meeting them, and sometimes it can actually hurt even more when they're gone. And trust me, I'm a man of experience over the last few days. Let me put it like that for you, okay? It hurts a lot, especially when I'm the person that did it wrong. Now, going back onto this episode, when I'm the one that did it all wrong, okay? Now, going back onto this episode, it's like, you know, not a huge amount happens in here. You get that sense that Moloch the Corruptor is like basically trying to, he is going to try and take over the world. He loves where he is. He loves the fact that he's in the internet. He sees everything. He can control everything. And this is where the Terminator influence comes into this. Like I said, this is my least favorite episode. There's not a huge amount happens into this episode, apart from what I've already said. And, I don't know. I don't know. This episode just lacked something for me. I get what they were trying to do, and I get it was another spin, or something different where this demon gets trapped inside the computer, is controlled. We do get introduced to a new character in this episode as well, in the form of Miss Calendar, and she becomes very, very prominent in season 2 for many, many reasons. But and you get to see a little bit of a bond between her and Giles, which is another little element and touch that I actually enjoy. But mainly, like I said, this whole episode is just completely focused around Willow and her slowly starting to fall in love with her, and then starting to pick up on some telltale signs that there is something wrong. There is some good kind of fight scenes towards the end. It's kind of a bit one-sided, and like I said, I'm trying to find. I don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching this, but when you're trying to review it, it's a little bit more difficult because not a huge amount happens in this compared to later episodes or earlier episodes. Don't get me wrong, I like what they tried to do with this. I really, really did. I like the villain in here and how they tried to put it across. I don't think they realised exactly how much what they were talking about at that time, or the content they were putting in that episode kind of had so much relevance to now. And we're talking, this is over 20 years ago since this episode was aired, and how big the internet's become and all that kind of stuff. I did enjoy the end fight scene. Like I said, it's a bit one sided. It did kind of have a Terminator kind of feel to it. And, it's an enjoyable watch. but it's by far not my favourite out of this whole season. Believe it or not, my favourite one is actually coming up, which I'm going to be reviewing in just a second. So on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.